Okay, so we're gonna start with our chocolate nice cream. So if you're catching this and you didn't get to see the lead up that says put your zucchini into the freezer tonight, then you'll want to get your zucchini in the freezer now. And in 4 hours, you can finish doing this. You do want the zucchini frozen so that it gets nice and thick, because you can technically eat this nice cream right away. Or you can stick it in the freezer for another time. But I think if you get it to a nice consistency, like with frozen zucchini right away, it's going to be like really, the texture is going to be really nice. I have a feeling with the amount of water and zucchini and stuff after it's frozen, it's just going to be a little harder, and you're going to have to make sure you let it thaw just a little bit before you start trying to dish it out. So I'm going to use the blender portion, just because I think it's going to get the texture even more creamy. Perfect. Sue's got hers. And yeah, so that way it's nice and creamy. And then I'll stick it in the bowl to go in the freezer. And this magical dessert is a green and a red. So I don't think I've ever seen another dessert on our list that's a green and a red, unless you're just making a shake. So this is pretty exciting. All right, let me share the screen and I'll get the recipe up here. Oh, and so we're going to do nice cream first. Then we're going to get the chicken Parmesan going. And then you can also cook the additional chicken if you need it for the rice salad. And we're going to finish with the rice salad. It's a little out of my norm because usually I like to try to only use one cutting board, but I think this will work a little better.
Should we turn our ovens on for the chicken to get those heated up?
If you want to, I was going to turn mine on just, I guess, when we get started, but let's look here. It's 450. So yeah, if you want, because this won't take us for. Let's do that. 450. The recording on this is going to be great because we're all going to be like doing our packets. And so I was thinking too, I have these, the cacao nibs that I'll put like on my apple nachos and stuff. Yeah, you've got them too. So I was thinking it after it's all blended, I might just either sprinkle them in as I'm pouring it into my dish, or just something to have a little texture in there too,
Yeah, totally.
And then
I don't have cocoa powder, so I was just going to use mine as like for the cocoa powder.
Oh yeah, then I would stick it in the blender. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is, I think Bub and I were talking, is there's fat in these, so I don't know if we would need to add a teaspoon to the container count.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
So it's whatever, if you use a teaspoon, this is this whole ice cream. So if you use a teaspoon, then yeah, that's a teaspoon added.
Okay. Okay.
And I had got Dominican cacao when we were in Punta Cana last time, so I'm gonna try that again.
Nice.
And I'm gonna remember to video this one so that.
Thank you for reminding me. That's what I started to do and then forgot.
Everybody get your cameras out. Yeah, and in this recipe too, it talks about like not over blending because that's just going to warm it up. But also making sure you get all the bits in there. So you want to just have a scraper handy to. And I'm using Milkademia because that's just what I always have on hand. So if you use a different milk-based or a plant-based milk, you'll be fine. Again, you'll just have to count it differently if it counts, you know, if you're using coconut milk versus coconut beverage, or hemp milk is an orange versus almond milk being a teaspoon. But there's not really enough almond milk in here to measure it out, so. Was anybody using a different flavor other than chocolate?
I only have vanilla. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use the vanilla, and then I'm going to use probably extra cocoa powder. Or, well, I have cacao powder, but yeah.
Yeah. You know what else would be good too? Like, instead of frozen, I mean, this changes the dynamic, obviously, but instead of frozen zucchini, like frozen strawberries would be so yummy.
I pretty much do that every single night.
Do you really?
I do a scoop of vanilla, and then I save my 2 servings of fruits for that, and then I do 2 frozen strawberries, the purples.
Yeah.
It is so thick. And then I put the cacao nibs on top and sunflower seeds. Oh my gosh, it's the best thing.
Yum.
It's really yummy.
Share that in the nutrition chat.
Okay.
That's gonna be so perfect, like in June when we all have like the most berries.
Yep.
Last night I tried this recipe I keep seeing on Instagram, and it's Parmesan carrots. So basically you make this layer of Parmesan and oregano, and this one called for butter and olive oil. It ended up being pretty greasy, honestly. But it was really good, so that you bake them together, and then the Parmesan caramelizes underneath the carrots. And so then we made like this yogurt dip with it. It was pretty good.
That sounds so good.
I think I'd just do a little less.
I will say this is pretty tasty, and the nips make it definitely add a little crunch to it.
Do they inside?
Yeah, pretty yummy.
All right, I'm gonna go blend mine up. Okay, that was a lot more tapping down than I expected.
Yeah, I had to add more milk. Is yours really thick or is it kind of
Well, I did add more milk because it stayed kind of powdery, you know,
yeah.
first
Mhm.
one. And so then I added more milk, and I probably ended up doubling. I probably did 2 more tablespoons. And I probably could have, like, now looking at this, I could see where maybe I could do less if I had kind of gotten in there and tamped it a little better. I don't know.
It's
'Cause
good though.
it's like a little looser than soft serve, right? It's about soft serve. I think this would be really good with cafe latte.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Yeah, it's good. I got blended. It blended pretty well. I have a few areas where I can tell I didn't get my spatula in there, but that's user error. All right, and then I'm going to throw a few nibs on top here. Put it in the freezer. That's not gonna look very good on the video. It looks like just some big poop. This would be a nice consistency for right away. Okay. Well, we'll let everybody kind of finish up on that one, get your stuff blended. You're gonna start finding your chicken. So it's funny, you know, we're always talking about spaghetti sauce or marinara or pasta sauce, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, it used to be Rouse was one of the few brands you could get that didn't have a lot of sugar added. And yesterday I was looking through the whole section because I know Safeway brand makes a brand that doesn't have added sugar, but there was probably 6 or 7 different brands, all different price points. I ended up paying $2.50 for this garlic basil, and it has 0 added sugars. And there's really, like, it's all regular ingredients, right? Whereas the Rouse was like $8, same kind of thing. I mean, we'll see how this tastes. I haven't had it before, so I'm not fully endorsing it just yet. But the point being, there's a lot of different options out there now if you don't want to take the time to make your own sauce. And they seem to be really good options. So
I pressed the wrong button. I was gonna say I actually got Rouse 2 jars for the price of one at Sam's. That's how much they charge.
Oh, nice.
It's like 7 something for the 2 jars, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen, they have a sensitive stomach rouse now. So it's less, I'm assuming just less acidic.
I would think there's probably less onion and garlic.
Okay, yeah, because I saw the Gut MD guy talk about it, how there's so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone else need the recipe for the nice cream? Add it to the chicken now.
I'm pretty amazed at how this looks.
Yeah, it does. It looks really rich and creamy.
It does, really creamy.
Yeah, I agree.
Very exciting.
And the texture of it is really nice. Like it's got a good mouthfeel.
I wasn't sure it was going to be cold enough. Like I thought it would. It kind of seemed like it was just going to be warm, like from the amount of zucchini.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good.
I thought it would be kind of watery, but it ended up, it's like it goes creamy instead. Kind of like how cauliflower does too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that. Yum.
All right, well, I'm going to start on the chicken Parmesan. So for this one, let's go down here and look at our containers. Okay, so a half a purple. Now that is due to using a marinara that's store-bought. We know that our marinara is a green, so we can go with a green instead of a purple there. The one red is obviously the chicken. The half a yellow is the breading, and the blue is the cheese. So this one, we're just gonna, have 2 separate. You're gonna dip in an egg wash, dip in bread, put it in a baking dish, and I would recommend even mine's like kind of nonstick, but still spraying that because we're gonna flip the chicken halfway through so that it gets nice and brown on both sides. That way you can flip it. I just muted you, Sue. So you'll have to unmute if you want to talk.
At least I'm not singing over here. All you're hearing are noises, crunching noises.
It's really funny how noisy it is. I was like, wow, that's really tough.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's what we're doing. We're cooking. I think it's a lot of times the AirPods pick up a little more, you know what I mean, of the environment. Okay, what do I need here? A cup? Perfect.
Okay, so when I was buying panko earlier, I was surprised at how much added sugar was in a lot of the panko.
Oh, you know what? That's funny. I haven't even looked, and I rarely can find whole grain, so I just have regular panko for this.
Yeah. Did you get this? Do you have this kind?
Yes.
I swear we went shopping together or something.
Well, which kind is it? The Japanese?
Yes.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah. Why is mine red? Oh, okay.
I don't know what the red is, but this is less than 1 gram of added sugar, and all the other kinds I was looking at, even like the plain type, had 2 or 3 grams of added sugar.
Oh my goodness. Interesting.
I know. I was quite surprised because I couldn't even imagine why they would put sugar in panko, but
well, because we put sugar in everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually why I can't buy breadcrumbs, like breadcrumbs, panko, whatever. I mean, because because, with Jacob, he can't have the added sugars because they
Right.
never use like organic cane sugar or anything like that, or coconut sugar. No, it's just regular sugar.
Regular sugar. Yeah.
So I end up having to literally make our
Make your
bread, our
own.
portion fixed bread, cut that up, and then dry that out and break that up. That's
Wow.
literally my process to get breadcrumbs. It's doable, but it's a
But a lot of
commitment.
extra work, right?
It's a commitment.
Hey, if I'm gonna eat sugar, it's gonna be M&Ms. It's not gonna be added sugar in my panko.
Right. Well, and for some of these
Right?
recipes too, like instead of, I mean, the panko is going to give a really nice crunch, but like you could do a gluten-free flour on like chicken tenders, do the same kind of thing, but just do a flour first, then egg wash the flour again.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Then you can at least get a little texture.
Yep.
You don't, if you're running into problems finding stuff or, all that kind of good stuff. This is actually, so since the boys were little, I have made like my own chicken tenders, like for dinner or whatever. I fry them in a frying pan. I don't bake them, but you could easily bake them. But it's just like the same mix I do with, I'd have an egg wash. I have the pancos with Parmesan cheese and garlic and oregano in it and stuff. And it works great. You could even make these into little chicken tenders and then dip them in the marinara instead. You know what I mean? If you like, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, my kids, like if we were always having burgers, they thought meatballs were like really exciting. Or if we were, if you're always serving it in the same way and then you change it up a little bit, then it's like somehow becomes more exciting.
Yeah, I cut mine in half, my chicken breast in half, so that they were smaller pieces.
Yeah. Well, and they're supposed to be 4-ounce pieces. So that's, I mean, most of the chicken breasts we get are enormous. So. Okay, and like I mentioned, so I have not made any chicken for my rice salad. So I bought an extra breast and I'm just gonna put that in a frying pan while I'm doing these other things. That way that chicken will be ready in a little bit. But the rice salad is also gonna be perfect if you have leftover chicken. All right, let's just get these through the wash here. So, and I tried to make all my chicken relatively the same size so that, you know, you don't have one piece that's super thin or overcooked. All right, and then those are just gonna go in and let's see, we've got in 15 minutes, we'll flip them. So I'm gonna set a timer. And then we'll add our, after they basically have cooked, we'll add the Parmesan and the marinara and the cheeses and finish them off. Funny, I've been wanting to do this recipe for a long time, and for some reason it just kept getting kicked out. So the next month, I have like a running list of things that sound really good, so I just keep them in a folder. I used to make chicken Parmesan and like marinara and stuff from scratch all the time.
That was always Matt's favorite meal, was chicken Parmesan, but he is also vegetarian now, so
Oh yeah.
he doesn't really get that.
You're like,
Sorry.
nope.
It could recreate the flavor, but you know, it's never quite the same.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny, I mentioned those cauliflower
Yes.
because I keep seeing that, and you could do a breading on them.
That sounds so good. I think I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah, I can't remember, maybe it was even a Tubi mindset that like that. I feel like there's some kind of a crunchy cauliflower steak out there that had like maybe it was breaded or I don't know. Yeah, because then you can do
I remember that. There was. It's a Tubi mindset.
Yeah.
Isn't it like it's a Parmesan, it's a like a yeah. what we're making but with cauliflower steaks.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah.
and then you could like, is there a vegan cheese that's good for Parmesan sub?
I know there is a sub. I've never tried it.
Yeah.
I usually am just like, man, whatever, I don't need it.
It's good.
But for that, it is good.
Well, and
Yeah,
what you
it's
could do though is mix in nutritional yeast into your marinara, so you still get a little cheesiness.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
even into the coating that goes on the cauliflower steak.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Yum.
I've been digging using nutritional yeast and stuff that I would have never even tried before. Like I made the beef macaroni instead of adding cheese while we were on gut protocol. I added nutritional yeast.
Oh.
It was kind of funny because after I was done, everybody's like, "Oh, that was your best version," and I'm like,
Oh. Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not finding it. I don't know what I'm looking for anywhere.
I know we've added it to different things. Like one time Scott had the idea of doing chili cheese green beans.
Yeah. Oh,
And that's actually, yeah, that's one of their faves. And it's literally just
cheese, roasted potatoes. Like I'll just pour chili on roasted potatoes.
oh well, there's no actual chili to it. It's got the ancho chili pepper. And then you use the nutritional yeast too.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
yeah.
My timer. Jeez. Okay, hang on. Okay. Okay. We will come back to this when we come back and put our cheese on. All right, let's go check out our next salad here. So I'm really interested in this one because the ratio of vinegar is pretty high, but I'm really curious. I'm like, is this going to be like too vinegary? Because usually it's like a 1-to-1 and it's 2 tablespoons of vinegar to 2 teaspoons of oil. So I'm curious.
I bet it's going to be really delicious.
Oh, and I thought this recipe was interesting. It's old, and I'm kind of wondering if no one double checked it, because if you go down here, oh, and it's got lemon juice too, so that's going to make it more acidic. But as you're going down here and looking at the container counts, this is for 2 servings, right? The salad. There's 4 ounces of chicken. That across 2 servings would be a half a red, but it's counting it as a red. So either you need, personally, I feel like either you need 8 ounces if you're going to count it for 2, or you half everything else in order to get the red, because there's nothing else in it that's counting toward the protein, you know, by itself. So that was a little bit, I think, a little bit off. So I put in there, I think, I put in a cup of cooked chicken on the grocery list. So if you're making it for 2. Okay, let's see. So they do. Okay, so I'm going to whisk up the liquids here first in the bowl. I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to do all the amounts it says. Okay. I think I'll throw my rice in next to kind of start soaking that stuff up. Oh, did my timer not start? Oh my goodness. How much time has it been? My timer didn't start.
I have 5 minutes left on
Yeah, I
mine.
did. Okay, I got 7 minutes. You have how many minutes left?
5.
Perfect. That's you shout out when you do it. That's when I'm gonna flip mine too.
Okay.
It's funny because usually it'll show up, instead of my like the time showing up.
Yeah, I have a thermometer as well, just to test, to make sure
Yeah.
that they're done.
That's what I have this too, because I'm testing the chicken on the stove right now to make sure that gets done.
Yeah.
All right, I think I probably just shredded too much. How much do I need? 2 cups. That looks like 2 cups. Perfect. With vegetables, I may or may not measure very well. I just kind of go for it.
Same.
Right?
I'm curious how that's going to turn out. I'm not making it. So you guys will have to tell me what you think.
I will tell you what I think.
I know. I'm wondering if the rice isn't going to absorb all that.
Oh, it did
liquid,
already in here a little
Did
bit.
it? Okay. Okay.
I pretty much tucked it all in.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'll be bad because then, you know, it should be in most bites then too, because you're going to have rice in most bites. It'll spread out nicely. All right, my chicken's almost ready. All right, how much green onion am I? Oh, 1 green onion. Yeah, I'm already there. I'm probably doing more like 2. I like green onion. I think that they make a really nice side for salmon. Without, you know, you just skip the chicken. Let's taste it. Oh, that's good.
You like it?
I do. I was
Cool.
debating about whether or not I was going to put furikake in it.
You don't think so?
Well, I might still because I think that'll be really delicious in it. Yeah, no, it's nice. It's like, that's going to be great in the summer. So I have, because I have this, you don't remember on the reset it called it gomasio instead of furikake. I have that, and it's like super boring compared to furikake. So but I still have some, and I could put that in here, but I just don't think I don't know if it's gonna.
Okay, my alarm went off, so I'm gonna check my chicken. And what are we doing? Just flipping these?
Yep, you need to flip it.
And we're not putting sauce on it yet, are we?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, let's go back. Let's make sure here.
Yeah.
We get too crazy. It just says turn after 15 minutes and then you bake for the 22 to 26 minutes.
Okay.
And then we go in a little bit of browning. Okay, the trick is turning it without taking the breading off. Okay. Now we'll go back in there for another 7-ish, 7 to 9 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. I've got a 10-minute. That's what I'm going to stick on here. Okay. I don't think I'm going to put this on when I eat my individual serving, the furikake. Okay, and we'll get some chicken in there. I'm gonna let my chicken cool just a little bit more. Okay, yum. And now I've got chicken for lunch too. Make some Mediterranean salad. The hard part is I want to eat this rice chicken now, but I'm probably going to eat the chicken Parmesan since that's going to be hot. Okay, well, I don't know if it's necessary to hold the recording longer just to finish up the marinara and the cheese. So what you'll do obviously is come back, and I've got 6 minutes, and you'll when you take the chicken out, just turn the broiler on so it preheats a little bit. Put your marinara and your cheeses on. I believe it's a 1/4 cup marinara on each one. Obviously, if you like, I'm going to have my chicken. I'm not going to make any other things with it. I'm just going to have my chicken with the sauce and the cheese for lunch. Because I'm also eating some of this. And so, you know what I mean? If you're not making other pasta, then just count, however much marinara you're having, right? So then you just throw it back in the oven for a few minutes to brown everything, get everything warmed up on top, and sprinkle with a little parsley, and all done. That'll be super good. Like if you want to throw it in your lunch for with zucchini noodles or another kind of pasta noodle, vegetable noodle, whole wheat pastas, any of the bean pastas, all of that will be delicious. So. All right, let me stop sharing here. We'll stop recording.